Good evening, everyone. It's time to call our September 8th regular council meeting to order. Welcome everybody in the gallery tonight. I have regrets from Councillor McLean. And in the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that the land upon which we gather is unceded Mi'kmaq territory. Epuwick, Prince Edward Island, Mi'kmaqi, is covered by the historic treaties of peace and friendship. We pay our respects to the indigenous Mi'kmaq people who have occupied this land for over 12,000 years, past, present, and future. I'd like to call for an approval of the agenda. Okay, it's moved by Ann, seconded by Councillor. The van's got me. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna be, yeah, turn it towards me so I can get the right van. And, okay, any comments or anything, any additions to the agenda? Or? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry? Oh, yes, yeah. Thank you, John. Okay, I'd like to welcome Andrew McDonald. She's replacing Joan, our previous clerk, and welcome Andrew. This is Andrew's first night, so we welcome her to the staff of Three Rivers. Do we have any disclosure of conflict of interest this evening on any of the agenda items? No. Okay, we'll move on. Just before we begin, I'd like to highlight the purpose of our meetings and our roles here. We strive to uphold the values of Three Rivers: community, innovation, and inclusion. We have a special town, and council is committed to contribute to sustainable growth. Council meetings are essential to our governance process, providing transparency in decision-making. Elected members discuss finances, events, town maintenance, design, and bylaws, and then vote on proposals. As mayor, I lead the council and break tie votes if needed. Residents are encouraged to attend and participate, ensuring everyone can take part of the governance process. We value your input and aim to maintain a respectful and professional environment. Personal attacks and disruptions won't be tolerated. Let's make these meetings a reflection of our pride in Three Rivers, and thank you for your respect and participation. We'll move on to the number 4, the adoption of the minutes on page 3. Motion to adopt the draft August 11th regular council minutes on page 3. Moved by Councillor Spinn, second by Councillor McDonald. Any comments or questions on those minutes? We've had a minute to look at them. Oops. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, motion carried. Number 5 is our RCMP report, and I see the Staff Sergeant Robinson is here. We thank you for taking the time out to come to us this evening and every evening.
The most stressful time is to push that button.
Yeah, okay. Well, you got it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
So in our occurrence summary, persons crimes in August dropped slightly compared to July, ending the month of 23 down from 25. Assault was the most frequent occurrence, with 12 reported, resulting in charges in 6 of those occasions. 2 of those files still remain under investigation. There were 2 sexual offenses reported in August. 1 is still open and under investigation, and the other is concluded with insufficient evidence to proceed. Property crime dropped in August, ending the month with 57. Mischief was the most frequent occurrence, with 32 reported, followed by 10 occurrences of theft under 5,000. 3 motor vehicles were taken in August, 2 of them all-terrain vehicles and 1 a Freightliner truck, which remains open and still under investigation. And progressing, I will say that one is progressing. 5 break and enters were reported in August, with all but 1 concluded with insufficient evidence to proceed. 2 drug enforcement occurrences, both trafficking related, were reported in August. 1 resulted in charges, while the other was concluded with insufficient evidence. Traffic enforcement accounted for 139 occurrences, down from 145 in July. There were 3 impaired driving occurrences in August, all by alcohol, with charges laid and recommended in one of them. A failure and refusal to provide breath sample was also reported, which resulted in charges recommended. There were 48 speeding violations in August, followed by 57 other traffic violations, and there was no fatal collisions reported in August. And we had, it says 2 check-ups documented, but we did 11 throughout the whole month in the whole district. Overall, 427 occurrences were recorded, with 416 of those being founded. That was higher than last year at this time, and also higher than the previous month of July. Policing initiatives. Kings RCMP investigated child safety concerns jointly with CFS and Southern Kings and assisted Queens RCMP in a firearms investigation with ties to North Kings, where an arrest made and charges were pursued. Several instances of fire prevention efforts were completed, which included identifying fires, educating the public, and informing nearby residents when necessary. Kings RCMP also investigated a break-and-enter, assault with a weapon, tractor trailer, and possession for the purpose of trafficking in communities of New Perth, Brudenell, and Abney, where arrests were made and charges were sworn. A single vehicle tractor trailer collision on Route 1 at Cherry Valley and a single vehicle motorcycle collision in Wood Islands were also investigated and are still under investigation. King's members also performed 6 targeted release order compliance checks, including curfews, and ultimately that resulted in 3 arrests for breach of orders. And we partnered with electronic monitoring and parole to monitor subjects in our district. Members also made time to attend multiple community events in St. Peter's, Montague, Panmure Island, and Dundas. We did check stops completed in Murray River, Morale twice, St. Peter's twice, Cardross, Bridgetown twice, Albion Cross, Dundas, and Dingwall Mills. Numerous vehicles were interacted with, mandatory screening for alcohol performed, and additional warnings and offense tickets were also given. Dedicated traffic service patrols were conducted in Montague on 20 different occasions. That's our headquarters unit for the province. We were able to get them out here 20 times during the month of August, and in Surrey on 1 occasion. So definitely Montague got the Cadillac service in August. An additional selected speed enforcement that focus specifically on traffic in Dundas. Specifically to Three Rivers, of note, are 9 Motor Vehicle Act collisions. We had 18 mischiefs and 21 mental health calls. So obviously we get called quite a bit to mental health situations and occurrences. And that was the #1 call volume that we had for August. And the last that I got is the summary offense tickets. Overall, 68 in Southern Kings. You can see the top ticket issued was 30 speeding 29 kilometers or less over the limit. That was our #1 ticket that was issued, and 12 warnings on top of that. So, and unless there's any questions, that is my report.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? Any councillors have any questions for the sergeant? No? You're doing such a good job that nobody has any questions.
That's an easy one tonight. So we'll see if Surrey says the same thing when I get there.
Okay. Thank you very much, and
thank you
we
so
do
much.
appreciate your attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I turn this off?
No, you can just leave it on. Yeah. Okay, next we have presentations and delegations. And one second till we get my list here. So I just want to say the council always values your input, and registered speakers are allotted 5 minutes to present their views. And council members will not engage in dialogue or debate, but may ask questions afterwards. To ensure a productive and respectful discussion, you're encouraged to maintain a professional tone. So first on our list tonight, I believe we have Janice Macbeth, whose topic is housing.
Good evening. My name is Janice Macbeth. I'm a resident of Three Rivers, and my topic tonight is future housing for young families, specifically in Three Rivers. I will make reference to the housing study completed by Stantec that was commissioned by the town of Three Rivers to identify current and potential gaps in housing provisions. I attended the public meeting with the report, and it was suggested that the demand for housing is based on assumed federal immigration targets for newcomers, notably multi-generational immigrants. The study stated that Three Rivers is the fourth largest municipality in Prince Edward Island, that it is primarily rural, and that it will be a balancing act to accommodate new residents while addressing the needs, maintaining the value, and the character of the present community. The study as presented says the town of Three Rivers will need approximately 334 units built between 2021 and next year, 2026. By visible count, there have been well over 200 units and at least 20 service lots funded or supported by various levels of government thus far for housing initiatives. I do not have the exact number, so I will respectfully ask for clarification on this number from the town of Three Rivers. It appears that the town has built almost 3/4 of the units recommended. I would like the town to look at other housing options to focus on young families' needs in our community, using the Housing Accelerator program or any funding available. With the reduction in federal immigration targets, and because so much focus has been put on building units for newcomers, as suggested in the best practices list in the study, the town could identify a list of lots where young families could be given the opportunity to purchase a piece of land or be offered a reduced purchase price or tax relief. This has already happened in Georgetown, and the official plan did identify 553 vacant lots at the time of publishing. The town could explore partnerships with organizations like Habitat for Humanity on a larger scale for single-family homes, while exploring opportunities for duplexes and smaller multi-units with yards. Because you see, 72% of our young people in our community did not grow up in apartments, but instead single-family homes. Homes with backyards and swing sets should be a priority in our rural environment. The best practices portion of the study also suggests offering incentives to enable the conversion of vacant or underused non-residential buildings for housing. The municipality could do this with the existing residential properties in our community that fall into this category. The census identified 690 unoccupied units in the town, or 17.5% of all units. On average, 13.8% of dwelling units in PEI were unoccupied. Why is the town of Three Rivers 3.7% higher than the provincial average? In my opinion, many of these unoccupied properties could be considered speculative purchases that were primarily for investment. The town could ask the owners what the plans are for these homes and offer incentives to sell back to year-round residents. Presently, in town, we see new apartment buildings that have been built, and they appear primarily vacant. 8 School Street, 620 Main Street, across from George Beck's, and the duplex on Annear Drive, primarily empty. Why would we even consider building more units, apartment units, when there are apparent vacancies in existing apartment buildings? We have an aging demographic, and community renewal through year-round working tax-paying people and retention of young families is critical to our community's survival. We can no longer be taxed with providing housing for multi-generational newcomers when we can't house our own young families. The focus could be redirected by this council. We could take the opportunity to explore ways to encourage, retain, and incentivize young families, balancing the needs of our own unique community. In summary, I'll end with notable points from the report. As mentioned by Councillor Monroe, hunting is not a core industry, tourism is, and this should be corrected on the online version by Stantec. Number 2, the study did not acknowledge or include the collective structures, namely the 2 large GBIS and GWBI monastery compounds in Three Rivers. There's no indication in the study of any present or future impact followers of this corporation have had or will have by purchasing homes in the town of Three Rivers. This should also be corrected by Stantec. Finally, the erosion of the main street of Montague is noted. This can be corrected by this council through communication, cooperation, and incentives to attract and retain new business in our community. Does anyone have any questions?
Anybody have any questions for the speaker? Okay, hearing none, I'll thank you for your input,
Thank you.
Janice. Thank you. Okay, next on our list, we have Mr. Hicken, whose topic is the agenda.
Good evening, Charlie Hicken, Albion. My topic tonight is meeting agenda. The purpose is to clearly define the objective of the meeting. All topics to be discussed are to be outlined in the agenda. Committee of Council meeting on August the 25th. The mayor hijacked the meeting agenda to criticize a business owner who had raised concerns about business losses during road construction this summer. Interestingly, the Canadian Federation of Independent Business has asked the provincial government to amend the Municipal Government Act so businesses would receive financial compensation for these losses in the future. The mayor interrupted the meeting a second time and asked the CAO, to read an email from Transportation and Infrastructure that stated that they had always intended to complete the construction on the Robertson Road lights during the summer construction period season. They neglected to state that the summer construction season runs from May long weekend to early November. So what Mr. Evan really stated was they had always intended to complete the Robertson Road lights upgrade between May long weekend to early November. This week, the mayor of Halifax Regional Municipality was charged with violating the Code of Conduct by making fake statements to the media. Last week, in a letter to the editor, our mayor accused me of repeated untrue presentations to council. Unless the mayor has proof of me knowingly making untruth statements, I would suggest this could be considered a violation of the Code of Conduct. The public is asked to follow the rules during these presentations, and the mayor and council must also follow the same rules. Thank you. Any questions?
Comment, Charlie. As the mayor, last week I was making a point of privilege. Anybody is allowed to do that. I can participate as a council member as well. I guess the next time I will say it's a point of privilege, and I will read you, the point of privilege is, it clarifies any incorrect statements that were made, which is what I was doing. And we will provide you with some of the statements, especially the ones you've made towards Councillor McDonald that were not true, especially on some amounts on loans and things like that she actually clarified here.
I would appreciate that very much.
We'll provide you with that. But I was making a statement.
And you should have stated that it was a point of privilege, which you did not.
Well, who was I supposed to ask for the point of privilege? I chair the meetings. But yeah, I think as mayor, I don't have to have permission from council to speak or to clarify something. I think I can take advantage of my position by at least speaking every once in a while.
I think that is the point. The mayor should follow the rules of order the same as everybody else.
I didn't break any rules. If there had been something that the council had to consider, if we needed to vote on it, it would have been an agenda item, I can assure you. And thank you for pointing that out, and the next time I will say point of privilege.
Thank you.
Yep. The next speaker is Mr. Duarte, and we'll ask him to come to the podium, please.
Frank Duarte, business owner. Let me first, you mentioned that you will not apologize for something you didn't say, and I have to agree with you. I did say 5 minutes, and that was my mistake. My apologies for that. However, I'm glad that Mr. Jameson played the compass clip because you clearly stated the reporter said that what you said was a few minutes. So this is an argument about 5 minutes or a few minutes. People, the reason why I came before council is because I've had so many complaints from people in the community very displeased with what you said to the media, that it only takes a few minutes to get into the mall, and it wasn't so. People know better. Also, you said that you've never been called a liar before. And I was taken back by that statement because I never called you a liar at all. Matter of fact, if you go back to YouTube video of August 11th, and if you go back to the 14 minutes and 25-second mark, I clearly said that was a lie. The statement was a lie. And I was referring to a few minutes. I never said that you were a liar. That was printed in the Guardian. That was printed in the Graphic. You mentioned the word slander. Well, when it goes into print that I called you a liar, that's not true. Again, my speech of August 11th has over 1,300 views. The speech for August 25th has over 509 views. People are now interested. I came before you because you saw me as an individual, but I was representing several businesses. And since the last time I spoke here, one business has been shut down for good. We've lost another business here in Montague, and to me that's a tragedy. I was talking about integrity. Since my speech of August 11, I have 3 complaints here in front of me that I want to hand in front of the cameras. One is on you, Mayor, for lying, which I think is a violation of the code of conduct. One is on John Jameson, something that we probably could just have a chat about. It's about what happened last Monday, or August 25th. We were thrown out of the building. This is a public building. You're a public servant. There was no emergency. There was no fire. There was no reason. And I clarified that by asking if we could stand in the lobby because I thought maybe it was a privacy issue. And if it was a privacy issue, 2 sets of door would have been sufficient for the privacy issue. So I clarified that it was not a privacy issue. There was no emergency. To me, that's an abuse of power. Public building, we have a public right to be here. We have the right to access. There was a person with disability that was in the parking lot. I don't think that was right. The other thing that you may not know about is on August 18th, I got visited by a council member of your council to my store. And the opening line was this: do you honestly think that town council will try to deceive you? It was not a hi, it was not a hello. I see that as harassment, intimidation. And that person went on to a tangent talking about owning property. I'm talking about Martina McDonald came to my store on August 18th around 10 o'clock in the morning. So I have the 3 complaints, one on John, one on you, Mayor, and one on Martina McDonald. And the reason why I'm handing these 3 together, because I do believe it's connected to August 11th. And I'm hoping that this will be taken seriously. Look at what I have written down. I even put a clipping of newspaper for the complaint that I have against you, Mayor. I honestly believe that we have a democratic system here, but I see more tyranny. I see more of a power grab. I see abuse of power. It's an abuse of power. This is a public building. We have the right to be here.
Frank,
I yield the rest of my time.
there's no doubt you have the right to be here. But on August 11th, after I watched the video for the second time, I really felt if you said I lied, so is that not calling me a liar?
I said what you said was a lie.
Yeah. Well, what's the difference?
The difference is one is a behavior, the other one's a statement.
And I really felt like on August 11th, you came here and you questioned my integrity and said I didn't say truth. I have the printed here. What I said, if it takes 10 extra minutes support businesses. That's what I said. I said 10. It's right in here if
The
anybody
few
wants to see
extra
it.
minute is what I took from the video of August 25th that
Well,
was played here.
it's not a few minutes. It says, I can read it to you. It says, even if it takes 10 extra minutes, can you support the businesses, is what I said.
It's
I
in the
never said,
It's in a complaint. I've actually
Yeah,
put down
okay.
the right
But-
time. Please have a look at it.
we'll have a look at it, but
Please.
I guess we're here to conduct town businesses. And so many times lately, we have had people come when it's a character assassination, which we are not here for. If
That's
you
what
have,
you've
if you
done.
have complaints, bring them here. We'll deal with them. So I'd ask you to pass your complaints to
That was a
the
failed,
CAO.
that was a failed character assassination on your part on August 25th. It was intimidation on August 18th. And on August 25th, that was an abuse of power. That's the way I see it, and I do believe they're connected. I don't know who told you to do that. It may
Nobody
be
told me
connected
to,
the mayor, or-
nobody tells me to do, I
Okay.
can think for myself. So we'll ask you just to pass those over to the CAO so we can continue with the business of the meeting.
The one is against the CAO who actually.
You can pass that one to, you can pass them all to him, or you can pass the CAO one to me, or all of them to me, and we'll see that they're handled. Okay. So we're done with reports. Actually, the mayor's report, I just have a verbal report. I just wanted to say that we have a couple of things going on in Three Rivers, and I'll leave it to the CAO to explain them. One is the National Baseball Championships tournament in Cardigan this coming weekend, which we're having, I'm sorry, it's not national, it's Atlantics. It's Atlantics. And Jonathan is with the town here, is doing a lot of work with that, and that will bring a lot of people into the town. It's from Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and PEI, I think. Is Newfoundland in that? And Newfoundland, so it'll certainly bring some people into PEI and into Three Rivers, and hopefully we'll see some businesses, we'll see some benefits. We also, starting today, have the 55-plus club games, which we opened in Brudenell this morning. And there was a tremendous amount of people there for the golf, which starts today, but there is a number of different activities. So that's also more people that we're bringing into Three Rivers that hopefully will see benefits to our economy. And that's going on all week, I believe. So there's been a lot of things going on in the office, and no need of me repeating them. I'll see that, I'll leave it to the CAO to bring us up to date in those.
Thanks, Your Worship. I'll go through my report section by section. And it's in your package and in the package available to the public. The financial update, MRSB provided the audited financial statements at the August 25th meeting and a public presentation. It was reassuring to hear Michelle Burge, partner, note the strength of the town finances, and she actually noted that we would be the envy of many municipalities in PEI. July.
Excuse me? We don't allow that at our meeting, so I'll ask you to please leave. That's a disruption of our meeting.
Is that in the policy?
It is in the policy that's been, yes, it is.
I apologize. I didn't
No,
know.
we'll ask you to leave.
You can do that in Providence House.
You can't do it here. If you disrupt the meeting, the mayor has the right to ask you to leave. So we'll ask you to leave,
I
please.
apologize. I didn't know that.
Well, maybe the next time you can ask.
Free speech.
Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
apologize. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I guess I can go home and have supper. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, after that disruption, I'll ask the CAO to continue, please.
Sure. The financial statements for July are in your package. And again, they demonstrate that we're on track with a surplus. Audited financial statements will be brought forward to council for an official vote at tonight's meeting. You'll also see a motion on the annual reserve policy, which is included in the meeting agenda. On HR, as you mentioned earlier, we're pleased to welcome Andrea McDonald who's taken the role of executive assistant and clerk to council. She joined the town last Tuesday and brings a lot of valuable experience and knowledge to the town. Posting for a county clerk position has generated great interest, and we've actually made an offer that's been accepted on that. And the arena facilities manager position has also attracted great interest, and we're pleased to announce that Philip Hebert from Georgetown has accepted an offer from the town, and he'll be starting that role in a couple of weeks' time. As you mentioned, there's been a fair bit of work around festivals, events, and recreation. The newly installed pickleball courts in Cardigan are proving to be a tremendous success, strong use, and we're getting lots of positive feedback from residents. As you mentioned, the town has been hosting and supporting a number of baseball events and other events. We're proud to host the 55-plus PEI games, and they're here from the 8th to the 13th of September, and that'll bring participants from all across the province. The Cardigan Baseball Complex, we've held 3 provincial baseball championships so far, and again, as you mentioned, next week we're preparing to host the under 15 AA Boys Atlantic Tournament, and it's another great opportunity to showcase that facility. Arts and Cultural Festival was a great highlight, and we did some post-mortem discussions with some of the vendors and entertainers and got great feedback and recommendations for improvements as we go forward. Our staff are also working with the committee on promoting some local businesses during Small Business Week. We mentioned the work in the Robertson Road intersection, along with the installation of the active transportation infrastructure and water and sewer upgrades is finally complete. Appreciate the patience of all those impacted by the major construction project. We will be reaching out to transportation in the next little bit. We've had some discussions around syncing the lights and how they're working in the early days, and we'll discuss that with transportation. I also want to say kudos to our public works staff. We've had a hot, long stretch, and they've been working in very difficult weather. If you drive all throughout the town, you'll see that things are looking good, and kudos to them for their work and in some very uncomfortable situations. Anyway, that's just a brief snapshot of some of the things that we've been working on. If any questions or comments, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Well, I think I'd like to congratulate you. What you have accomplished with your staff, the pickleball in Cardigan, the 55-plus games, the provincial tournaments, the Arts and Cultural Festival, and the infrastructure is complete and looks amazing. I think that's a lot since your last report in 1 month, and kudos to you and your staff. And we spend a lot of time on negatives here, but there's a ton of positives there. Thank you for that, John. Good work. The other thing I'd like to mention is the Small Business Week. Our office is also working on that, and we're working on a really good, strong campaign in partnership with the town to really put an emphasis on the small businesses that have suffered during this time. And there was at least 10, 11 people around the table the other day to work on this initiative. So keep your eye on the media, social media, and we'll do everything we can to promote the region.
Thank you very much, Martina. And yes, I also want to recognize all the work that's been done by staff under John's leadership. Jonathan is constantly coming to both of us with ideas of how we can bring more tournaments, more events into the town, because that also brings more people into the town. So there's 2 going on this week, and we're constantly looking for more things to bring people into our town. Anyway, it's there's been a lot of accomplishments. Okay, any questions or any more comments, questions? Okay, we'll head to 7.3, which is the development permit report on page 9, 10, and 11. And I don't think anybody can say that our planning department is not busy. There is 2.5 pages of listing applications that have been approved on that report, that development permit report, and that's for August. There is a lot on there. Any questions on the report or any information anybody'd like? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to 7.4.1, and I'll turn that over to the Chair of Planning, Councilor Van Donkersgoed. And we'll start with 7.4.1, I guess, Ann?
Thank you. Can we get the other mic turned off?
Wayne, who has can you somebody shut the mic off at the podium? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 7.4.1. The Town of Three Rivers Planning Board recommends to council to approve the following motion. To approve the application for a major variance of 62.8% for the front lot line setbacks to accommodate the resiting of an existing dwelling at 19 Bayview Lane, launching PIDs 631127 and 631119. The approved plans are the application form received April 14th, 2025, the site plan and boathouse location received April 14, 2025, and the floor plan and elevations received April 14th, 2025.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. The planning board recommends to mayor and council to approve the siting of an 800 square foot dwelling and 4,000 square foot detached garage in the front yard at Campbell Road, PID 551416. The conditions are this permit is valid for 12 months from the date of issue. 2, all work must be undertaken in accordance with the approved plans, including the use, location, and dimensions provided. Any proposed changes or revisions must be submitted to the town for approval. 3, the applicant is advised that additional access to Campbell Road will require an entrance permit from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure. 4, the approved plans are the application form dated August 15th, 2025, the site plan dated August 8th, 2025, front, rear, side, and floor plan of the house dated August 8th, 2025, front, rear, side, and floor plan of the accessory building dated August 8th, 2025.
Okay, you've heard the application, I'm over in a second. Moved by John, second by Councilor Finn. Okay, any comments on that? And again, it is nice to see single-family homes being built in Three Rivers, of course. Yeah, it's always great to see those. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, carried. 7.4.3.
The Town of Three Rivers Planning Board recommends to council to approve the following motions. To grant preliminary approval for 5 residential lot subdivision located on Queens Road, PID 746370, with the following conditions. 1, the final subdivision approval shall be granted by the development officer only where the developer has complied with all applicable requirements of this bylaw. 2, the development officer shall give notice of final approval of a subdivision in writing and shall place the town seal on 5 copies of the subdivision plan and shall return 1 copy to the applicant. 3, the The applicant is required to submit to the Development Office a site suitability assessment completed for all lots before the final survey is registered. Lots are to be categorized and meet minimum lot area and lot width requirements for lots on private service. 4, final approval of a subdivision plan shall not be given by the development officer until all conditions have been discharged. A, the survey plan has been submitted for the recommendation to any appropriate provincial or federal government department. B, any other pertinent documents have been prepared and concluded to the satisfaction of the development officer. 5, the following constitutes the approved plans. The development permit application received August 8th, 2025. The preliminary plan drawing received August 8th, 2025.
Okay, there's a motion, mover and a seconder, please. Deputy Mayor Jenkins, second. Councilor McDonald. Any, comments, questions on that application? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. 7.4.4.
Okay. The Town of Three Rivers Planning Board recommends to council to approve the following motion. To approve the siting of a 200-square-foot pump house on PID 1034396, 1505 Queens Road as a special exemption development. Condition 1, the development permit application dated August 18th, 2025. 2, the building thereby approved shall only be used as a pump house and the housing of related equipment. 3, the site plan received August 18th, 2025, and images of the building 1, 2, and 3 received August 18th, 2025.
You approve the motion?
Excuse me, I read that backwards. That was the pump house. So that's the motion for 7.4.5, so I guess we're doing them in reverse order.
We're approving 7.4.5.
My apologies.
Mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Monroe, second by? John, okay. Any, comments or questions on that? All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion is carried. Okay, we're back to 7.4.4, which is the citing of the recreational vehicle for 120 days.
Yep, and I will be right at it. My apologies. Okay. Therefore, the Town of Three Rivers Planning Board recommends to council to approve the following motions. To approve the citing of a recreational vehicle for 120 days on PID 1034396, 1505 Queens Road. Condition 1, the development permit application dated August 18th, 2025. The permit is valid for 120 days from the date of issue, after which time the recreational vehicle must be removed from the site. 3, sewage and gray water must be disposed of properly into an approved septic system or pumped from the holding tanks and disposed of properly. Condition 4, the site plan received August 18th, 2025.
Okay, approve the motion.
So moved.
Moved by Councilor Monroe, second by Deputy Mayor Jenkins. Any comments or questions for Ann on that motion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And that concludes.
We have to make sure that we're using our mics in terms of for the online feed whenever we're doing our
Right, and I'm
business.
not,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're on 7.5, financial report, and I'll ask Don to present that report.
Thank you, Your Worship. This financial report is for July 31st. That's the 4th month of the new fiscal year, or the 2026 fiscal year. Our revenues at the end of this month was 1.6. We're over budget by 145,000. And the total expenses came in at 1.47, and we're under budget on expenses of 52,327, which leaves us with an operating surplus of 153,178. We used some of that money for some capital purchases, some work to the cardigan ball fields and pickleball nets, etc., as well as some loan payments, which leaves us with a cash flow surplus of 20,546.
Okay, questions for Don? It was, it was nice that we were able to use some of that for certain things. I know the Cardigan Ball Field was very happy with our purchase, and the pickleball nets, as has been mentioned, were also very welcomed.
Another big purchase is we were able to paint the King's Playhouse. So that was
Oh,
big too,
okay, yeah. Has that been completed, or? Yes. It has? Okay, great. Okay, any other comments for Wayne? Go ahead.
I'd just like to say what Michelle said, we're in great shape, and it's great to have money in the bank instead of on the negative, so I think it's tremendous.
Yeah, it's always good to have money in the bank. Okay, we'll move on to number 8, which is the annual reserve motion, and I'll let Danielle handle this. So this, Danielle, just, this is the reserves carried over from amalgamation, is that correct?
Yes, Your Worship, it's
Yeah.
the annual motion that we make every time,
Yeah.
once our financial statements are audited.
Yep.
So it's a memo to council. The town has established reserve funds in the names of the former municipalities and for special capital projects. Council must approve any contributions or withdrawals to the reserve funds. Staff have identified the following adjustments for council to approve for fiscal year ending March 31st, 2025. Therefore, we recommend to council to approve the following motions. Be it resolved, the council approve the withdrawal from the specified reserve funds. Town of Georgetown Reserve Fund withdrawal in the amount of $46,000 in relation to the A. McDonald Gardens light upgrade. Therefore, the audited balances as of March 31st, 2025 for the reserve funds will be as follows. Montague, $53,730. Georgetown, $63,686. Georgetown Fire Truck Reserve, $68,953. Cardigan has a zero balance. Wellness Center Capital Reserve, $9,919. And maintenance and upgrades to municipal recreation and public spaces, the balance is $2,640.
Okay, so you've heard the motion. I need a mover and a seconder. Okay, moved by Ann, seconded by Wayne. Any questions for Danielle on that? That's been going on since 2018. Still have a few little amounts there. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. Okay, next is request for decisions from council. And 9.1 is the request for decision on the Visa card limit increase. So the motion is, be it resolved that the council authorizes an increase of $25,000 to the overall Visa spending limit, bringing the total available credit to $50,000. This amount will not exceed the town of Three Rivers debt limits as defined in the general borrowing bylaw. Need a mover and a seconder? It's moved by Councilor Monroe, seconded by John. All in favor? Aye. Or, sorry, any discussion? I think we went over the number of cards, I think, and is everybody satisfied with the information that we received last week? If not, yeah, go ahead. Your microphone, Wayne.
We said the managers all have a card, but none of the employees that work there have cards, right?
The managers are staff. the
Yeah, there-
managers that
the
are staff
That's
have
correct.
cards.
There's 6 cards in total and it's all management.
Right. So there's no staff that actually has,
Well, like the position is management within this, or like within the administration, but then there's also, the manager for the Playhouse has a card as well.
right,
Yep.
okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, that motion is carried. Okay, 9.2. Request for decision on our audited financial statements, and the motion is be it resolved that the financial report from the town auditor, MRSB, for the last fiscal year ended March 31st, 2025 is accepted as presented. Okay, motion moved by Councillor Spin, second by Councillor McFarland, okay. Questions, any questions to any of the staff on that report? I think we had a pretty good presentation, but if you do have any questions, now's the time to. Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion carried. Okay, right now, we're going to have, 10.1, or 10 is a closed session for the MGA section 1191D, and we'd ask that you vacate the council chambers for that, please. And
Can I ask them not to stay in the lobby? This is a HR discussion that has some sensitive information. We're also going to ask all staff to vacate the closed session as well.
you can turn off the camera for the closed session, but leave the. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Okay, I need a motion to close the session. Moved by Deputy Mayor, second by Alan, all in favor? Okay. So, Okay, can I have a motion to re-enter an open meeting? Okay, moved by Ann, second by Martina. All in favor? Okay, at this time, we do not have any motions to make, so I'll call for an adjournment of our regular meeting. Moved by Councillor Monroe, second by Councillor Spin. Thank you very much, councillors.